What's up, everybody? Today we're upgrading a 2022 Ram 1500 Lone Star with AUXITO LEDs. We're gonna hit every bulb on this truck, front to back. Quick heads up on tools. You'll want a T15 torque for the taillights, a small flathead or trim tool for the license plate and interior bulbs, and a pair of clean gloves so you don't get oil from your hands on the new headlight bulbs. That's it. Whole truck takes about an hour. Before we start, there's 3 things you should know about the 5th generation Ram 1500. First, Ram 1500 from 2019 to 2024 comes in a bunch of different trims. The higher trims, Laramie, Limited, Longhorn, Rebel, and TRX, those already have factory LED headlights and tails. The bulbs aren't user serviceable on those trucks. This is a 2022 Lone Star with halogen headlights and halogen taillights, which is what we want. Tradesmen and most bighorn Lone Star trucks are the same. If your headlight has a round reflector bulb behind the clear glass like this, you're good to go. If you're unsure, please check your owner's manual. Second, Ram is one of those trucks that can be picky about LED bulbs. After install, you might get flickering or an error code on the dash. If so, we also offer decoders that can solve this problem for you. Here's the thing though, with our X5 series specifically, most customers don't need a decoder. We've installed these on a lot of Rams and they usually just work. But the matching decoders are linked up in the description as backup, just in case. Third, the Ram often changes bulb sizes between the years and the trims, so check your specific truck before you want to change these bulbs. Easiest way to find out if you have something different is to go to auxito.com and use our bulb finder and check the year, make, and model to make sure that what we have fits your car. All right, let's get into it. When replacing your headlights, everything is only accessible after you remove this panel. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull these out. Then pull out your sides and get this thing off. So we're gonna start with our low beams. And on this specific trim, this is gonna be the most difficult one, but I'm gonna show you how to make it easy and quick. So the low beam housing is right here. The problem here is that it's underneath all this electrical stuff. So we have to go from the bottom. All right, so down here, this is our wheel well. I've gone ahead and done the hard parts, where you're gonna pull screws from here, and then all the way around the top of your well. So this is just a regular screwdriver with an 8mm attachment on it, and these screws should come out pretty easily. You're also gonna find several screws in the back. This piece right here can be easy to damage. So once all your screws and connectors come out, make sure that you're gentle pulling this from the bottom of the frame. You're gonna find a couple of these connectors. You're gonna get your little pry tool, come in underneath, and you should be able to pop these guys out. There we go. It should be able to lift right out. You may have to wiggle a little bit, and this will come free. Now that your wheel well's off, this gives you access to the H11 socket. That's the dust cap that you have to pull off in order to get to the bulb. So you're gonna pop this out, and now you have access to the bulb. You're gonna twist, the bulb should come right out. From here, you should be able to unclip and pull out the bulb from the socket, right here. We're gonna replace that old halogen bulb with the brand new AUXITO X5 6500 Kelvin bulb. Low beams on the 2022 Ram 1500 with halogen headlights are the H11 socket. Same as the AUXITO X5 series headlights LED bulb, just in the same H11 size. So now, let's get this plugged in. This can be a little tricky, so just be careful with your hands as you're plugging it in. Got it. The only thing left is to plug the bulb back in. All right, that's it on this side. Let's knock out the other one. Now look at that cutoff line. Sharp, clean, level. That's what you want from a low beam. Light goes where you need it without scattering up into oncoming traffic. It's a big upgrade over the stock halogens, both in brightness and beam pattern shape. One more thing worth pointing out. The X5 H11 features a 360-degree adjustable mounting collar. This is a key design element because some Ram owners find that standard LEDs sit at the wrong angle once locked in. With the X5, you can manually preset the collar angle with a wrench to ensure the LED chips are perfectly vertical, giving you that razor-sharp cutoff line every time. Since we just changed our low beams and the wheel well is already off, we have access to the side marker. The side marker is not usually changed by people, but since we have it off, mine as well. And we can use our 25H T10 Amber series. This gives you access to the side marker. Once you have this out, this is super easy. The bulb pops right on. To install our T10 here, do the exact same thing. Take it, make sure it's aligned, and just press it into the slot. Good to go. Return it to the slot and twist clockwise. And you're all set. Your dust cap is going to be right down here in front, easily accessible by hand. You twist and pull right out. Once the dust cap's off, you're going to reach in, you twist counterclockwise, and pull your bulb right out. Once the bulb's out, you're going to have 2 pins here that you have to pry off. Once those are off, it should pull right out. Here's the X5 next to the stock halogen. Notice how the LED chips on the X5 sit in roughly the same position where the halogen filament was. Your headlight housing is designed around where the halogen filament sits. The reflector and lens are aimed at that exact point. If the LED chips are too far forward or too far back or orientated the wrong way, the housing scatters light all over the place. You get glare for oncoming drivers and dark spots on the road. This bulb is engineered to mimic the halogen filament position, which means the housing reflector does its job correctly. That's why you'll see a clean beam pattern instead of light going everywhere. So you're just going to plug it in, take your light, place it back in the socket. This time you twist clockwise until it locks. Once your light's plugged in, you're going to take all the additional components, place them into the dust well, grab your dust cap, place it back on, give it a twist, and you're ready to go. All right, we're done here. Let's do the other side. Not every Ram comes with stock fog lights, but this one does. This is where our old halogen fog lights are going to be, and we're going to replace them with the AUXITO B3F series fog lights. Most people don't know what their fog lights are for, and sometimes when it's misty or hazy outside and you turn your high beams on, it's actually going to impede your visuals. Your fog lights are at a lower angle, they don't refract light as hard, and that's going to give you a better, clearer view and keep you safe on the road. All right, you're gonna have to come from the bottom this time. You're gonna reach over, you'll find your fog light access right here. And just like always, you're gonna twist counterclockwise and it should pop right out. Once it's out, you have to disconnect it from the socket with our pry tool. This comes down. Once that red thing's out, then just pull right out. And now let's replace it with our brand new LEDs. Alrighty, right back into the socket. There we go. Push this up, and you're locked in place. Now you're gonna take this guy, put it back in the slot. You're gonna twist clockwise, and you'll be ready to go. Your turn signals are gonna be located right here. You're gonna reach in, twist counterclockwise, and it pulls right on out, the whole contraption. At this point, we're gonna switch out our old halogen bulb with a brand new LED one. This will pop right out. Pull out one of our new bulbs. It's gonna have the same back connectors. Make sure they're placed appropriately in here. Slides right in.
Now I also want to point out the fan on this bulb. It has superior heat dissipation and reliability compared to a fanless bulb. When your parking lights are on, it's white. When you signal, it switches to amber. 2 functions, 1 bulb. Vehicle action and lighting always match what you'd expect. Now real quick, let's talk about a problem you'll run into with cheap LED turn signals on a Ram. It's called hyperflash. Hyperflash is when your turn signal blinks twice as fast as normal after you install LEDs. Your truck thinks the bulb is burned out. It's not. The bulb is actually fine. The truck is just confused because LEDs draw way less power than halogens, and the truck reads low draw as a vapor kill bulb.
And now you just return this to the socket. Twist clockwise, you're ready to go. All right, now that we're done with the front, let's work on our rear lights. To get into this housing right here, you're gonna need your T15 torque bit and maybe a pry bar, but this should pull right out by hand once I get the torque bolts out. So you're gonna get in here, unscrew, keep track of your screws. Here we go. And the whole assembly should dudge right out by hand. On your rear housing, you're going to have your rear turn signal, your reverse light, and your brake light. So we're going to start with the rear turn signal. It's going to be located here at the bottom. All you're going to do is twist counterclockwise, and it'll pull right out. And we can get this halogen switched out with our LED. Quick call out, Ram changed the rear turn signal bulb size between model years. The 2022 to 2024 trucks like this one use 7443. Some 2019 to 2021 trucks use a smaller European size called PWY24W instead. If you're not 100% sure on yours, look at your owner's manual, or sometimes your OEM halogen bulb might display the socket on it as well. These are super simple. You're gonna pop this out, keep track of your bulb. We're gonna replace it with our brand new LEDs. It should slot right in the exact same way. Take it, place it back in the housing. There we go. Give it a twist until you hear click. So next we're moving on to our reverse light. To remove these, you do the exact same thing. Twist counterclockwise. This will pop right out. This is our halogen. This should slide out. With our halogen out, we're going to replace it with the AUXITO 54H series LED. This plugs right back into the same slot. And just as before, it twists clockwise to set. There we go. To uninstall, you're going to twist counterclockwise, pull out. Here's our old halogen bulb, and it should pop right out. And now we can replace it with our new LEDs. All right, to install, take your bulb, place it back into the socket until you hear a click. Once you get there, return it to the housing, and you're going to twist clockwise until it clicks in. Good to go. Alrighty, after your rear housing is all set and re-screwed in, you can't forget your third brake light. To remove your housing, take a Phillips screwdriver and take out your 4 screws. Once your screws are all out, you're gonna have to get a pry bar. There's 4 clips along the sides, and you wanna make sure you don't damage them by using your pry. So be gentle until you get it to pop out. And you're free. This is going to be our third brake light. These are cargos, which we're going to get into later. To install, just like normal, twist counterclockwise and pull this guy out. Your bulb should pop right out. This is our third brake light. It actually has a built-in fan, so it keeps itself cool while staying super bright and lasting a long time. So now, this should slide right in to where the same thing was. Once you're plugged in, put it right back into the same socket, get it set, and twist clockwise. And now you're all set to go. After we finish our third brake light, let's go ahead and install brand new cargo lights while this is unlocked. So your cargo lights here are going to be this one and this one. This will twist counterclockwise. You pop the bulb right out, and we're going to replace it with our brand new AUXITO LED. Once it's slotted in, put it back into its socket, twist clockwise. You're going to go ahead and do the same with your second light. Pull out your bulb, replace with our new LEDs. Twist clockwise, and now you've got a whole new light set ready to go. All right, now that we're done with our rear housing lights, our third brake and our cargos, we're gonna go ahead and get in the interior. The map lights in most Rams are gonna be pretty easy to pop out. You're gonna take these lenses off. But on this particular model of Lone Star trim, we're gonna have to pull off this whole fixture. But don't worry, it's not too hard. You're gonna start off by going into your sunglass compartment, and there's gonna be 2 8mm hex bolts. You're gonna unscrew both of these. Don't lose your screws. Once your screws are out, there are 2 tabs. They're gonna press like buttons. You'll be able to reach up and find them right here. So the best way to do it is take both your thumbs, press the buttons, and it'll pull right down. Once this is down, you have to be careful. There's 2 connectors, one here and one here, that they hold pretty tight. So your best bet is to grab a pry bar and slowly work your way down. Once you're free, you're good to go. You can remove your lighting adapter and remove this. And now you have the whole housing fixture to yourself. The second trick here is with these. So because the Rams are built really well, there's not a lot of room in between here to fit a full pry bar. So my recommendation is to use a thin knife as such. And very carefully, as to not scratch the plastic, find the small tabs and slowly and carefully pull out your piece. Here we are. So now you can see you have access to the light. And the reason you have to pull the whole fixture off is because you have to press the light out from the back side. Now be very careful with this. So this chrome right here is pretty delicate. It's locked in by the bulb. So you want to take a pry and you slowly and carefully press your bulb out. Your bulb should fall out. And once it's there, you're ready to replace it with your T10 24H series AUXITO LEDs. You will notice, and be careful to note, there's 2 separate types. One is a high or low voltage, one is a high voltage. The low voltage is a 6-pack, and the high voltage is a 4-pack. You can use this pry tool to get these out if you're having some trouble. So go ahead and pop one of these out. And this can be a little tricky. As you can see in your well, there's a horizontal slot. You need to fit this guy right into that. Sometimes you can see best from the back side. As you can see, whenever I'm installing my LEDs, I try to use gloves, as if you get residue or grease on your light bulbs, it's going to impede the light from getting out of the LEDs. All right, now we can see it's fitted in here on the back side, and you'll be able to see it right here from the front. Once your bulb's set, go ahead and place the lens cap back on. You're going to set the bottom, and then the rest of them should just press in just like that. From here, reinstall your lighting plug. And here you can see the difference. One halogen and one LED. Once all your plugs are back in, you're going to start by pushing these pins back into place. They should pop right in. This will pop here. You're going to reinstall your screws, and then you're all set. So now that we're done with our map lights, we're going to work on our dome light. And all you're going to need is a pry tool. From here, you'll see little slot inserts. You're gonna press in here, give it a little pressure, and it'll pop right out. Once this is open, this is our old halogen bulb, and it's only fitted with pressure. So you can just pull it right out. This is our old halogen, but we're gonna replace them with the AUXITO SJKT series LEDs. Much like the last one, you're gonna make sure your LED lights are facing forward so you get the maximum lighting, and you press it right into that same slot. The springs should hold it tight, and once it's in, you can see, oh my gosh, that's so much better. Once the cover's out, it's gonna go on with just a little pressure. Press it in until the clip sits there, and now you're all set. All right, just like that, in under 5 minutes, we've replaced all of our interior lights. Quick word on decoders, since this is the #1 question we get on RAM videos. A CAN bus decoder is the small adapter that plugs in between the LED bulb and your truck's wiring. It tricks the truck into thinking your regular halogen bulb is in there, which clears up flickering and warning lights. On this 22 Lone Star, we didn't need a decoder for any position. These bulbs were clean out of the box, no flicker, no warnings. Matches what we hear from most RAM customers. That's actually one of the things people don't realize about this bulb. It's tuned to handle picky electrical systems like Rams, so the bulb itself is doing a lot of the work that a decoder would normally do. Every truck is a little different though. Year, trim, even battery condition can change how the truck reads the bulb. So if you do see flickering or get a dash warning, the matching AUXITO decoder is linked in the description. 5-minute fix. Either way, you're covered. Real quick, we covered a lot of bulb sizes in this video, and we kept saying on this 2022 Ram 1500 for a reason. Bulb sizes change between model years, between trims, and sometimes even mid-model year. If you're not sure what fits your specific truck, head to auxito.com. There's a bulb finder right on the homepage. Type in your year, make, and model, and it'll show you compatible bulbs for every position. It's the easiest way to make sure you ordered the right thing for the first time. And if your truck isn't listed, just message our support team and we'll help you figure it out. So here we are, the AUXITO X5 series for headlights, 4K P10 series for the front turn signals, 4K P8 series for rear turn and brake, for reverse, 24H series for the small interior and marker bulbs, for the cargo, and SJKT for dome lights. One last thing, stock halogen bulbs are only rated for around 500 to 1,000 hours. They start dimming and becoming a hazard for drivers, especially as the world is moving to LEDs. With road lights getting brighter, dimmer lights will be more of a safety hazard. LEDs do not degrade and last for much longer. All right, and just like that, we've changed every bulb in this truck in less than an hour. So now we're gonna wait till it gets dark so we can show you just how bright these AUXITO LEDs really get. Alrighty, drop a comment if you have any questions, and thanks for watching.